Hey guys, Lukasz here, and today we're exploring Edo period Tokyo in a place called Asakusa, and we're gonna do some street photography with my RICOH GR. And of course, please, if you like the video or have any questions or comments, leave them below, like the video and all that, subscribe to the channel. And also, I wanna let you know that RICOH has released, or is promoting, like a new hashtag on Instagram. It's shootgr_ and then your city. So for me, shootgr_ Tokyo. All right, so let's get going. All right, so first we're gonna shoot this really cool gate here. This is called the Kaminarimon, which literally means Thunder Gate or Gate of Thunder. It marks the entrance to this huge temple here in Tokyo. And you know, it's kind of a famous touristy spot. And of course we can shoot it really wide from far away and get the whole thing. But I wanna get a cool detail, so I'm gonna get in closer here because on the bottom of it, there's this really cool carving. Nice, I'm gonna get down here and I'm gonna go to slower shutter speed and then shoot straight up. There we go. And in fact, I'm gonna hold it really low to try to get the whole thing. How's that? Oh, constantly missing a little bit. Can't see what I'm doing. I could probably lay down on the floor, but you know, I don't want to be rude. It is a temple, after all. I don't want to be too ridiculous in here. But anyway, we'll keep going inside. Maybe get a couple more details on the side here. It's pretty neat. One thing I love about shooting with my RICOH is that it's very good at getting details because, you know, with this pretty wide lens, it's actually, you know, we say it's a 28, but it's actually an 18. So you can get really close to things. And then it has this macro, you know, function. And I love getting details like this. This is really nice. Yeah, cool. All right, let's keep going farther in there. So this area here on the way to the temple, which is kind of way down there actually, is called the Nakamise. Right? It means like the shop in the middle of the temple kind of thing. And there's a ton of little like touristy sort of, you know, shops that sell all kinds of things. But what I'm gonna hope for here is maybe some cool street photo moments. So I'm gonna go to f5.6. And you know, they're closing up, but that actually might make it kind of interesting. Yeah. Some of these shops have been here for quite a long time. I know there's one shop at the end, which probably will be closed already today, but the guy's family's been running this shop for like over 100 years. So I've been in there once. So yeah, it's a cool kind of retro place. Like I said, it's become sort of touristy, but they do a good job of keeping it, having that old school vibe. And of course, there's tons of food. So you got like ice cream shop, you know, all kinds of biscuits and other Japanese sweets and whatnot. Yeah. There's a little dog here. Oh, hello. Friendly doggy. I actually wanted a photo of the dog next to the dogs, but she moved or he moved. Maybe over here? Okay. All right. Yeah, you know, in the end, it's a funny juxtaposition of two things, but it's not the most interesting thing in the world. But it's fun to try to get something. All right, so we've made it all the way down the Nakamise, which is quite long, all right? And now we're at the inner gate, the main gate. So this is like the real entrance to the temple. So we're gonna go in and shoot a little bit in there, but just before that, I wanna get some shots of the entrance here because there's this huge pagoda on the side, which is pretty cool. So just get a, simple architectural kind of shot. I always like to, I like the idea of working the scene and being creative with my photography, but sometimes you just got to start with something super basic and simple, because why not? Just because it's simple or basic doesn't mean it's bad. Okay, let's get a little closer here. I just don't like that you can see there's like a little weird tower in the background there, and that's actually from the, what do you call it, amusement park. They have an amusement park built right next to the temple, because this is such a popular area, like even for locals. It's kind of like, how to say, like, I don't want to say touristy because they're locals, but it's like a Sunday hangout. Like, it's a place where people come on the weekend to have fun. They visit the temple, and then there's a lot of shopping around, hence the Nakamise, and there's also an amusement park. So it's kind of a weird combination of all these things near each other. But anyway, I don't want to see that thing. Let's get a little closer. I think if I get to about here, there we go. It disappears. In fact, maybe let's keep getting closer so that this eave and this eave create like a, ooh, that's cool. They create like an opening for the pagoda. That's a pretty cool composition. I like that. Not quite like that. Let's maybe even get a little closer, or get even a little closer. So when I'm picking a perspective like this, when I'm trying to find the right perspective for a subject like this, I should say, I'm always paying close attention to how things overlap. And in this case, I like that from exactly where I'm shooting, a bit of this eave is like tucked in between the eaves of the pagoda over there. So, in the photo it should be visible. And that was a very conscious choice, right? I did that on purpose. And also, we'll get the other side too. And also, just the way the eave kind of slopes down from this little building here, and then the pagoda in the background. I do wish I could get a little bit higher up, honestly, though, because I feel like the pagoda's, it's not a very architectural photo where you want everything kind of straight, but it is what it is. It still looks good. Okay, let's try a similar thing here with the eaves. In general, these, Japanese temple or shrine eaves, they're always really pleasing to me in terms of their geometry. I love shooting them and creating these interesting cascading diagonal lines. I'm a big fan of diagonal lines in photos. And these things just naturally have them because they are sloped that way. Let's see, let's go this way, through the side here. Now, of course, there is the obvious shot of the pagoda just from the front here, where it looks really impressive. But in terms of photos, I find it like less interesting because you don't have all those diagonal lines anymore. Might as well get one, but I have to get a little closer because this lamp is here in the way. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Can't hate on that. I mean, it's cool, but it's getting a little too simple, right? We want to get something a little more interesting. Maybe there's moments here. Love these little this little display for omikuji. Omikuji is a fortune. So you put a little bit of money, you pull one of the drawers randomly, and it tells you your fortune. But what I like is just the repetitive texture or pattern of the drawers. This is where I went to f2.8 to get a lot of, or not a lot, but less depth of field, shallow depth of field, to get some bokeh. Right? This lens, being an 18 millimeter, you don't get a lot of bokeh usually, but if you focus to something really close like that, you get plenty of bokeh. I mean, at 2.8, you get a good amount of blur. Looks nice. Now, there are a couple of elements that I like here at the temple. Let's just wait a sec for the people to go. I don't want to disturb them. But basically, at a Buddhist temple like this, you have this big cauldron here with incense. People put incense in there. And then it's like a way of purifying yourself, one of the ways. So you would come in, you could add your own incense. It smells great. And then you do this. You waft it onto yourself as a kind of purifying ritual, right? And I mean, I'm going to take a photo of it in there, but it's not too exciting. but why not? Okay, but I will try to use maybe the lip here as a reflective surface for the temple. Nice. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, those who have watched the videos that I've put out over the years on our channel, on the RICOH channel, will know that I like reflections off of surfaces like this, just random weird surfaces. And that's where this camera is great, because the actual lens is so small, you can get it really close to surfaces. Okay, might as well get a nice shot of the whole thing from the front. Why not? Again, simple and effective. Like, there's only 2 people up there right now. That's cool. A minimal scene. All right, and then we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go off to the side here, leave the temple area, and explore the side streets where it gets a little bit more hidden and kind of off the beaten path. And that's actually, you know, what I really like about this area, this whole neighborhood, Asakusa. All right, so now we're in this kind of more side part. Like I said, a lot of bars, restaurants, shops, and things. And so we're gonna explore this area a little bit. And the gorgeous light. I love this, because it's been kind of a cloudy day today. It's like the end of the rainy season. But there's this gorgeous sunshine just peeking out over there. And I love scenes like this. This is my jam right here. Okay. Because, you know, I just love the colors, the textures, and the simplicity of it. It's just this stuff. It's not, you know, it's not anything special. It's just random junk. Nice. It's a cool little shop here. Worth shooting. I love these old facades of the buildings around here. So even on a pretty quiet day like this, there's not a lot of people around. I still like shooting these kinds of things. I love the colors here, the yellow, red, green, all together like that. Bits of blue as well. Because to me, you know, street photography is not always about people. It doesn't have to be. I know that that's sort of what it's become over the years. Everyone expects, you know, people in their photos. They always want people, people, people. But like, I just like to wander around and sort of meditate on whatever I find. If I find cool scenes with people in them, great. If I find scenes without people, that's okay too. It's not a big deal either way. What I'm really looking for, whether it's people or not, is nice colors, interesting shapes and geometry. Kind of like this somehow. I like these like baseball players on the glass here. I wonder if that could work with something, or even the baseball player over there on the sign, because it really stands out. But the thing is, where am I gonna get, you know, somebody similar? But a person wearing that color or close to that color walking through there would really make my day. Maybe another way to shoot this would be to include some of this red and white stuff over here. Yeah, that might be cool. This is a good example of how to work the scene. So one thing I like to do is, even if I don't even expect a photo, like I don't think a subject's going to show up here, I think the chances are very slim, and I may not stay here long enough. I don't want to stay here right now for an hour waiting for the right person to come along. They very well may come along in 10 minutes and I'll miss it. And if you stay here all day, you probably get someone. But even if I don't want to wait, I at least practice framing it up. So to me, this photo right now is missing something. It's not a complete photo. But it's good practice for me just to pretend, okay, well, if the perfect magic subject, a guy wearing green, maybe carrying a baseball bat, would show up somewhere, well, how would I frame that? How would I frame that? So I just frame it, you know, in preparation for that subject, you know, maybe even with other people walking through, and then just thinking, okay, well, these are not the home run, no pun intended, shot, but Oh, here we go, here's somebody. But at least I'm getting kind of the hang of it, and this helps me practice and then get better at it in the future. And so you see, this guy is not the right guy, not even close, not so interesting at all, but it's just a good practice. All right, and see, I mistimed that one, so if that was actually the right guy with the right colors and stuff, I would probably have been disappointed in myself that I missed it. So it's good to practice these things. Let's try a couple other angles. I actually think I like this original angle more when I was closer. Yeah, I think that would be my composition. It's just a matter of getting that subject. And then let's try it with this sign. Okay, got a whole bunch there. Yeah, you know, something. I was on a pretty wide aperture, so I couldn't really, and I focused on the sign, so I didn't really get the background in focus, which is, I guess, kind of a mistake. Okay, let's try to get this lady and her dog in the bike. Okay. Again, not really, there's no real connection between the sign and that particular subject, but it's a subject. I mean, I do like the colors. I like the colors and the simplicity of the scene. It's just the fact that none of these subjects are really especially related to the sign. So, all right, let's maybe look around this way and then keep going. So I think we've beaten this thing to death at this point. Anyway, but see that what we just did is kind of for me the essence of street photography. It's about that. That's the process, and then if you get something, that's just the bonus. It's a reward. It's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just pay close attention and take my time with scenes that interest me. And the ones that interest me involve vivid, bright colors. I'm a big fan of that. Cool shapes and forms, and good light, which right now is a beautiful kind of light. I love this sort of late afternoon, overcast day sort of light. It's like slightly warm from the setting sun because it's kind of coming through the clouds. Let's see. Now there is one of these passages somewhere. Oh, that's actually a nice view right here in terms of light. But I was going to say there's one of these passages somewhere that I need to find, I would like to find, where you can see Skytree. Skytree is the big, 600-meter tower not far from here in Tokyo. And I know there's like a narrow alley where you can see Skytree through this alley, and it looks cool. And I want to try to find it so we can take some photos of it. For now, I'm going to say I love this overgrown place here. It's so old. Very nice. Wow. It is massively overgrown. I love this kind of stuff. There's a photographer and friend named Lee Chapman who shoots this kind of stuff. He's the man for this. I'm totally just, doing what he does here. This is not really my main thing, I suppose, but this is definitely something Lee does. And over the years I've come here many, many times, and in all that time, I feel like I've always find something a little bit new about the area. There's definitely a lot to discover. I'm sure there are people who know this area like the back of their hand. I certainly know some parts of Tokyo that well, like extremely well, but not this one so much. So it's always a pleasure to get to know it a little bit. This place is really cool too. Also beautifully overgrown. Look at that. I mean, that's a total jungle over here. Let's go to N. 5-6. Okay. From the front here is also cool. Some beautiful golden light now. Yeah. Over here. Okay, I think we'll keep going then. Try to actually use this light because we're not going to really use it and this angle. So, okay, we'll keep moving on. Let's go over here. Let's try to find this Skytree view that we're looking for. Oh, maybe it's this one. Here we go. This is the kind of thing I had in mind. And anyway, it's a cool passage just in its own right. Can you see? Yeah, it's up there. So this might be it. You can just see the sky tree back there. I love passages like this. These are the kind of weird places that I usually explore when I'm shooting on my own. I love all the random plants, like this cute little cactus over here that somebody put on top of the water meter. That's a cute little thing. So just like little details like that are fun to discover. Look at this completely overgrown bike. I mean, isn't that, I was gonna say amazing. To me, it's amazing. I have no idea how I'm gonna shoot it, so I can't get that far back. Let's get our settings in first, the 60th. Okay, let's see here. I think I can just get the whole bike. And I mean, wow, that's just wide enough to get the whole bike and everything. Very cool. Awesome. That's my favorite shot of the day so far. I've mentioned this before, I'm sure, but I have a whole series of bicycle photos. I love shooting bikes in unique situations. This is a pretty unique one. So overgrown, and I like also the fact that the bike has a bit of blue on it and the door behind is blue, so it kind of really matches its environment, which is really cool. The bike must have been there since the last time I walked through this alley. I just either didn't notice it or, I don't know, it didn't jump out to me last time. This is a cool scene as well, with the mop and this beautiful red sign that says, what does it say? It says, in case of fire. Okay, yeah. Not as interesting as the bike, but I still like it. Okay, so Skytree is back there. The question is, do we go a little farther? Because these wires are here, so either I'm going to have to go in front of them or farther back. I think if we go farther back, the wires won't be as noticeable, and I'll be able to get a nice clear shot of the tower. Yeah, that might be better. Whew. But actually now it's a little bit, yeah, so I'm wrong. Now it's going to be a little bit too small. Let's go back this way. It's working the scene, got to figure it out. I think being in front of the wires is better. Honestly, I realized this is maybe better on a kind of a longer lens. It's going to be a little hard on a 28 like this, or 28 equivalent, because it just, you know, it emphasizes, a wide lens like this will emphasize the foreground because you can see a lot of the foreground, and therefore it emphasizes, you know, those objects that are in the foreground here. So in order to emphasize the background, I would need a longer lens. I shouldn't say the background, but to you know, zoom in on that background and make it bigger. But you know, it still looks cool. And then the sides are pretty interesting in their own way. Now I'm underexposing here. I'm on -1 for the compensation, because I think, yeah, if I don't do that, you can't really see the tower. And anyway, it creates this nice what's called chiaroscuro. I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's an Italian word, and it means the distribution of lights and darks. So if you look at old, like, you know, Vermeer or Rembrandt or other, I totally butchered that pronunciation, Rembrandt, or other classic painters, like the Italian ones as well, they often would have these deep shadows and highlights and things in their paintings. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. I'm getting a very bright center where the tower is, of course, because it's the sky, and then it goes down to black on the sides. All right, so we got what we came for in this passage. I think it was pretty cool. I'm glad we took the time to find this location, which honestly, I don't even know if it's the one I had in mind. There might be another alley with the same view, but it's what I wanted, so I'm happy with that. Let's wander around a little more here. Let's go over here. Oh, look at this cool machine with a nice texture on it. That's fun. That was kind of cool. I like that. Closing up for the day. He's really got a yank on that thing. I like that though. I like the moment where one guy on the left was pulling on the thing, but the other guy was still carrying out the bucket of stuff, like they were doing different things. But anyway, it was a cool scene. I love the way this blue awning creates this blue glow over here. I mean, And this guy, this like poster of this dude is kind of interesting with the blue glow and the blue awning. I also love this little pipe that's like just going around the right way. And there's always the case like, how do you shoot this? Now, do I want this nasty junk over here that kind of adds to it? But then again, it kind of doesn't. I think that's better. I realize there's this weird music playing. It's kind of spooky over there. I wonder what that's about. Okay, I'm gonna move back a little bit, and then let's see. Now that I'm trying to like get everything, I'm starting to like sort of lose the point of the image of what I was trying to initially get, which is this poster and the blue glow. So I think that's a mistake. You can see one other thing. Sometimes shooting these from underneath and up like this is really cool. I quite like these kind of shots. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's weird, but I like it. But you know, it's a good example of, I think, how should I say it? I don't want to say how you should shoot, because it's just how I shoot. But I think it's good to shoot this way, to just get obsessed about weird, kind of random things. By doing that, you end up discovering something interesting inevitably. You know, you explore deeper, and you go in a direction that other people don't go. I don't think many people would stop to shoot what I just shot, and I wouldn't shoot some things that other people might stop to shoot, right? So you might have an interest in some other weird random thing, but by doing that, you create this kind of unique perspective. You find something unique that only you like. It makes your photos very authentic, I like to say, because my feeling of like definition of authenticity in terms of art is you create the kind of art that other people might not think to create. So by doing that, you create authentic work, and I think that's a good thing that we should all strive for, right? So I hope I gave you guys an authentic walk through Asakusa today with me. And we definitely shot some of the cool, famous tourist spots, but also some of the less obvious, you know, weird things like what we just shot there. All right, so we'll wrap it up here for today. All right, thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will go through and answer them as best as I can. And of course, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like more photography content about the RICOH GR from Tokyo. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.